All right, JJ, let's talk about Serie A for a second. AC Milan facing Atalanta and Inter Milan traveling to Cagliari. And by the way, from Cagliari to the rest of the relegation battle, we also have Empoli against Salernitana, Udinese, Spezia, Napoli, Genoa. Serie A, we've thought that AC Milan are getting closer, and I feel like Inter Milan should be happy because they have a trophy. That's, very good for Simone Inzaghi. How do you see the Serie A race as AC Milan face an Atalanta side who are not as strong as they were at the beginning of the season?
No, they're not. And I think this is a huge opportunity for Milan. Basically, they know, finish the season with a couple of wins, and the title is theirs. I think we discussed this with Dre Cordero the other day. Basically, four points is probably going to be enough for Milan. There's no doubt about it. They have the tougher fixtures. Yeah, Atalanta, perhaps not the side that they have been in recent years, but still formidable on their day when they want to turn it on. And Sassuolo are just one of those bizarre teams. And you have a few of them in Serie A where they're almost better against the bigger teams than they are against some of the lesser lights. So for me, I expect that Inter will take almost maximum points, from their remaining games. I mean, you can't really wish for much easier games with all due respect to Cagliari and Sampdoria than two teams, who have been mired at the bottom of the table for pretty much the entirety of the season. So for me, I think that Inter will keep the pressure on right until the end, but I think Milan will have enough to see it off. And also, if there is some decompression from Inter or a bit of complacency since they picked up the silverware in midweek, I think that Milan, will be worthy winners ultimately. I think that really it's theirs to lose now, but I think 4 points. I agree with Dre. I think 4 points will be enough for Milan.
Yeah, and Atalanta in 8th, obviously, same points as Fiorentina and Roma, by the way, as well. But Fiorentina really doing this last push at the end. But do you think, by the way, just very quickly, as Cagliari face Inter Milan, how should Inter fans feel right now? They won Coppa Italia. I actually think that's really commendable and remarkable because, Matteo Bonetti said it a few days ago on CBS Sports. I agree. Inter, Simone Inzaghi arrived at an Inter side, where they didn't know what to do. Antonio Conte left, like Lukaku left. There was a little bit of a confusion from an identity perspective, even though they were entering this season as defending champions. How should Inter fans assess this season, especially if they don't win Scudetto?
I think they should be grateful to Inzaghi for making them into title contenders this season, because walking into that situation post Antonio Conte with no Romelu Lukaku as well, that was a very, very tough task for him. He set about it in the right way. I think Inter retooled well, considering all the issues that they were going through financially, and they've actually managed to turn what was a fairly negative last summer after claiming the title, into quite a positive season. Because let's not forget, they also gave a better account of themselves in Europe than they have done in recent years.
Yeah.
And I think that this is, perhaps the beginning of a new era, for Inter, one that's maybe, a bit more realistic in terms of their ability to go out and spend on talent and construct really winning teams. But, I think that they will be able to replicate this season's title push, perhaps go one better with a couple of, smart additions and changes to the squad. Whereas I don't think there was that sense of positivity surrounding Inter last season when you saw all these star names disappearing. Journeyman, as proven a goal scorer as Edin Dzeko is, coming in, questions over Martinez's future. He's still there, scoring goals, perhaps the most consistent we've seen from him in Serie A. So, I think that there are reasons to be positive. I don't think realistically Inter fans could have expected to defend the title given the changes made last summer. So I'd say that this has been a satisfactory end to the season. I'd be more disappointed as a Juventus fan, for example, not having claimed the silverware midweek. I think they're more in need, of some serious work this summer than Inter are at present.
Can Salernitana do this, Jonathan Johnson?
You know what? I really hope they can. I mean, to see the way that they've turned things around. I mean, just this last, 4 or 5 months has been incredible. The fact that we were debating, or reports were telling us that Salernitana were going to go bust. There was going to be one less team in Serie A, around the turn of the year. For them to go from that to filling their squad full of new talent in the January transfer window, and now suddenly, having the semblance of a team pulling away from the relegation fight at just the right moment, it's incredible. I don't think that there's a story like it really in any of the major European leagues. This season, there's a lot of unexpectedly big teams going down in some of the other leagues. So to see Salernitana, pulling off this escape act is, it's quite refreshing. And I do hope that they manage to pull it off, because it was so improbable. If you'd suggested this a couple of months ago, that Salernitana would be in this position. I mean, also you look at the fixture that they got left. Empoli, another one of those teams that seems to save their best form for when they play the tougher teams, and they would normally get beaten against the teams you'd expect them to get points against. And an Udinese side with not much left to play for. Yeah, they can turn up on their day and get points against a team, but they are quite a solidly mid-table outfit, and I don't expect them to move up anywhere really close enough to get into the top 10 of the table between now and the end of the season. So I think it's been a massive achievement for Salernitana, and I'm keen to see what the future holds for them, assuming they do manage to confirm their Serie A status for next season.